Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ashley. I have not been on here in a while. Probably the last time that I was on here was when I did a review for the Planbold 2024 planners, and I am back to do a review of the 2025 Planbold planners. And I'm super excited to show you guys the differences in the planners and the new addition that Carmen has this year. So for the last several years that Carmen's been in business, she has mainly had the classic layout when it comes to a planner. She's had different versions of the covers, but only the classic layout inside, and now she has added a vertical. So the classic layout is would be compared to a horizontal, and then the vertical is kind of like a true vertical. So I'm excited to go over the changes in the classic with you and then show you the brand new planner. So I'm gonna jump right in. I'm trying to not have this video be too long so you guys can find the information that you need and decide whether or not a Planbold planner is gonna be something that you could use this year. All right, something that she also has this year is a offering in each of the planners is this little snap-in, I guess you would call it. So they match the cover. So this is so cool. The top it says this week, and it has the, their symbol right there. So you can just snap this in and out. And then the back looks same. It just says Planbold, and then you can just snap this in and out. You can put this on the week that you're in. It kind of helps for easier flipping, and those just snap in super easily. So this is what the cover looks like. Sorry, there's a weird glare when I pick that up, but so this is what the outside looks like. It's kind of like a navy with this really pretty, it's like a pink tan. I'm not really sure what the exact name of it is, or like name of that color, but it's very pretty. All right, so like I said, we're gonna go over the classic first. I'm gonna kind of compare this inside with the other one too, so that'll be helpful. Nothing changed here. You just have your planner belongs to page. We've got a little welcome from Carmen. And then you have your 2025 view here, yearly view. And then you have a year at a glance at your 2026 calendar year. You open this up and there's a small space here for you to write down any important dates that you have, any goal settings that you want to do, any annual appointments. I think this is fun for just, just what it says, a year at a glance. I personally think that a little more time should be spent on kind of figuring out your goals for the year. So I love that there's like a small space for your goals. Maybe like this is a year of being really intentional with your time so that you can, focus on like 3 things that are really important to you, like developing new habits. That might be health and wellness. So, a lot of your time is going to be spent creating and sticking to a new workout routine or eliminating certain foods from your diet. Again, these are some of my goals, so I'm just listing these. So, right, like I might not have a ton of goals for myself this year, but I'm focused on just a few things. I tend to do a lot of that work outside of this page, but it is kind of somewhere fun to write this down. So I just wanted to kind of note that. Okay, so then you have just same as last year. Every month has the same landing page, has 2025, then the month. The monthly view did not change at all. One of my favorite things about this is that I feel like there's enough space in here, which I think is great, but also there's this extra space here for you to write out your projects. I think this is a cool way to use this as like maybe house projects or even like work projects, or for high school students, maybe school projects that you can list over here, and maybe they're due at the end of the week. So maybe these are ones you want to finish, or you're coming to the end of the week and you're thinking about things you want to do in the next week. Either way, you can put that there. This is kind of fun that there's nothing here. You can kind of write in your own stuff, a quote, or practice your scripting, whatever you want to do. All right, so this is the new classic layout. It is very similar to, as far as this and this goes, they remain exactly the same. But as you guys can see, I'm sorry, that was my ice maker. These 2 areas here are different. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull my classic layout up. I'm gonna flip to a page that I haven't used yet. We are gonna kind of reference how I currently use the planner though. So you will see some of this with my handwriting, but that's okay. All right, so this is a blank page. Let's see. I guess hopefully that's good for you guys. Don't, ignore this, but okay, so I'm going to just jump right in. So like I said, this is the same. We're going to take a look at the furthest left portion of the planner here. So I am a huge fan of this change. I personally do not need this much space for the to-do list, but I do think that she kind of crammed, not crammed, but in a good way, was able to fit the whole to-do list. I think like the amount of space you have here is very similar to, if not more space here, because as you can see, this is spaced out quite a bit here. This is like standard spacing here, and like most other planners, like this is your typical spacing here, which is great for if you have like stencils from other companies, you can use those here. If you have sticker kits from other companies, you can use them here. So I did like that she took, you know, a little bit of like traditional spacing and things like that and kind of applied it here, and then got rid of this giant to-do space. Oftentimes I would cut this off around Wednesday and put something else there, but it still was just an awkward thing to do because of the spacing. So I really like this. I usually typically use a highlighter or a Tombow pen and then just my regular pen. So I would take my Tombow pen and highlight the week that I'm in. I love having this monthly view here to just be able to see what, you know, the coming weeks look like, as far as like dates wise, like, okay, today's, you know, the 31st. Okay. You know, what day does this fall on? I don't know. I just think it's helpful to have that, for just a quick view of, the dates coming up. And then, yeah, so she does have a new stencil. I know that this did not come out the way that she was hoping for it to come out. So the spacing is a little off on it, but I do still think it's great if you're someone who gets frustrated by like creating too big or too small of squares. Like this would be something good. It doesn't line up perfectly, but it does line up pretty well. So you would get that first one in there really good. And then from there, it would just start to be off. By the time you get down to like the 5th one, it would be the same, but you can just move it. So you make a square, move down, make a square, move down, make a square, move down, and just kind of keep going. One way that I like to use this, so I personally don't like nothing, like with no lines. So the way that I've been able to make this, I also don't like the idea of writing in my own lines. It just doesn't sound like something that I would like to do. So I sometimes, you know, use the whole to-do space, but usually I don't. So this, I was experimenting with a different stencil, so pardon my awkwardness here with that. In this one, I was trying out all the different ones here to see if I liked anything. I kind of landed with, I didn't really love how any of this looked, so I'm going to continue to do the way that I normally do, which is like this. I just write out home and kids, and then I put my squares under there. So these squares were just trying out different ones on here, and so what I ended up with is I like these ones down here. So I personally do it down the middle, and then what's really awesome with her stencil here is that it works for this. So I flip it this way and just line it up here. Okay, so once you line it up like this, that's pretty much there's a line that goes right here, and that's pretty much the center. So that's how I do it. I kind of bounce my weeks off of the kids and what they have going on in home. So I grab a Tombow pen and I just would slice through there. I'd bring it down, line it up again. I'd leave it up here a little bit to grab onto that to make sure it's centered, and I'd bring it down. Doesn't take me very long, and I do it on the other side too. So I like this stencil for that. And then because there's no lines, it doesn't really matter that these don't line up with traditional lines quite yet. I think she's making another one of these, but I think these are pretty cheap. I think they're like $5. I could be wrong, but I think they're $5 on the website, and they're just a perfect, I don't know, I love having stencils. I like to just make a quick perfect square, so I could just line this up here. By the time I write home and kids here, for me the spacing works out almost perfect. When I write it out with a Tombow pen, it probably would be a little further down, so this would come all the way down, and that wouldn't bug me to leave space there. But yeah, so it would just line up here, so I would just go through here and make my portions there. As you can see, sometimes I literally do nothing on days around my house when I'm going to be gone until 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. So I usually will wait to stencil this out until I'm actually in that day, or maybe the day before, because I should have a pretty good idea of where I'm going to be at for the next day. All right, so that's that. I'm going to just switch over to the other side. All right, so we're going to look at this. So like I said, these stay the same. So that looks very similar. So what changed here was we took away, not we, but Carmen took away the goals for next week. So there is no longer that. I really enjoyed that because it felt like there was a lot of pressure to have them be different. But like I said before, I'm very intentional on certain goals this year. And so my goals are really not going to change week to week. They might, you know, I might give myself like a spending challenge, or like, you know, to not spend money. Or I might give myself a challenge to, you know, use what's in the freezer or something, or, you know, so different things like that. But for the most part, my goals and things that I'm working on are going to stay the same. So I did not ever use this portion. I used it for reading. So I'd probably do the same. I probably wouldn't need this whole space. So I might do reading and then a quote or something. But that's how I would utilize this space. And then Goals, again, if you're like somebody that likes to have the squares, because I did kind of enjoy how there were squares there, you can use this to make your squares, which I think is pretty cool. So that's pretty much that. I'm trying to keep going so this video isn't too long. But then you flip the page to the notes and accountability. So again, this is the older one. This is the new one. They are very similar. I do just want to highlight that one thing that did change here. One, the hues here are just slightly different in the, you know, the colors in this here are just a little bit different. But the notes page are also like a standard line note. So this is a little bit bigger. This is a little smaller. So I'm personally excited about that. This gives me more space. And again, if you're wanting to use any kits or other stencils, it would work out well here. And then this is now lined instead of just the 4 bullet points. This gives you a lot more room to jot down things that you're thankful for. And again, you can use this if you like to have something to kind of put in the front of what you're about to write. Okay, so now I'm going to switch these again, and we're going to take a look at the meals and workout page. This did not change. Again, the hues here look slightly different, and then the colors here are slightly different for the font and then the squares, but it really stayed the same. I love this. This is where I write out what I'm gonna have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I write what I'm doing for the workout. Oftentimes my kids have different breakfasts than me, so I might do a bullet point here, and then I could use this to figure out like, okay, that's kind of that size, so I'll use this one to write my kids. If my husband and I have different lunches, I'd maybe do that there. We all have the same dinner. Yeah, then I just write my workout, but that stays the same. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That is the differences in the classic layout. It's very similar to a horizontal, so if you're in the planner community and you're wondering what a classic compares to, I mean, obviously after seeing it, you'd probably say it compares pretty closely to a horizontal. It just doesn't have lines. For me, that was really hard to adjust to, but again, having a stencil or something like this, breaking it up in a way that works for you, I think you would find it to work for your needs if you're kind of like a horizontal planner. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the vertical so I don't keep you guys here too long. So just like the classic layout, this, when you open it, is gonna have a slightly different view in the back of the cover. So this is really pretty. It's got kind of just the reverse of what this is. So this is kind of like a tannish, it's like almost like a tan gray. And then it has like the color of this cover is what the leaf pattern is. And then it has the this week. I'm not going to go over anything else here. It's all the same. At the front is all the same as the other one. Same with the monthly views. And then we'll just go over what's in the back once we're done here. All right, so this is the vertical layout. This is beautiful. I love it. I personally think that this planner resembles a lot of other planners. I know that the classic layout is almost unique and that it's kind of not like other planners, but if you are from the planner community and you're looking for a planner that is similar to others, this I think would be the one that you're looking for here. I just feel like the space is utilized really well. I think that there is lots of space here in the weeks for the lines. Again, these lines are standard, so just like you would find in other planners. So you can use, you know, your kits there. You can use this stencil that she has or other stencils, and I think that you would really like it. Again, this one is slightly off, so it won't add up just right for the lines, but I think she's working on that. But this I just thought was great for $5. I bought this with a couple different notebooks because I thought it was too great not to have. Because even if it doesn't line up perfectly, I always end up doing my own thing. I don't know if I'm a little bit of a rebel that way, but kind of do my own thing. So I use things like not maybe the way they're exactly intended to be used. So I just kind of make it my own. Okay, but on this side, so instead of having a space here and a space here like you have in the classic, you just have this. So you still have your monthly view here, and then you have a space for your goals, very similar to the classic, and you just have this small space here. So I'd probably do my reading stuff here. You could use this for your to-dos throughout the day. You could use this for like important or don't forget. So if you're flipping through the week and you've got a couple to-do lists and you want to jot it down, you could do that. You could use this as an hourly. You could, you know, maybe use this portion for like your morning routine, then maybe a small hourly portion to include like kid stuff in the afternoon, and then maybe like a must get done. But you could also honestly use this part for like a must get done section. So kind of depends on how you like to see things, but that's the vertical. I know that Crumman has been getting amazing feedback on the vertical. People are really excited about it. So if you are contemplating whether or not to get it, If your brain works like an hourly or a vertical, I would jump on getting this one. If you're somebody that works more in a horizontal, or you're just not sure, you just kind of want to get organized with your, like maybe meal planning and workouts, and you kind of really like that, this page right here, and you're just not sure where to start, the classic might be the way to go if you're not already kind of using a planner. I do like that the classic lets you use it in a way that, I mean, both layouts you can use it in any way that works for you, but I do think that a classic might be a better way to start if you're not already somebody who's planning. But yeah, so that's that. I'm gonna just take a quick peek at the back of the planner. So it doesn't come with like a ton of notes pages, but there are some. I think this is more than last year. I could be wrong on that, but actually it might be the same now that I'm looking at it. Well, actually I think it is a little bit more. So it's nice, just some notes pages. If you were wanting to, you know, kind of start reflecting on the year, you could use this section as like a yearly reflection and a place to start planning out your goals for the next year. That would be a good idea. Or like I used one of these pages this year for like a brain dump of like a cleaning routine potentially. Like all the things that I'm like, you know what, I never wash my baseboards, when am I going to do that? You know, so it's kind of dumping down like all the things you just forget to do. And I don't know, just helps me. So these are just pages you can do whatever with. And then back here we have a folder page, or a section that's a folder. It's just one-sided, and it has a place for you to put your stuff, and it's the same as the inside cover. So that's that. That's all that I have for you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about that. I'd love to hear what you like about maybe some of the changes in the classic, or maybe what you're looking forward to in the new option of a vertical. Yeah, let me know. So a couple other things that she has on her website to go with this are her notebooks. So I opened one and I left one closed, so we'll just look at those real quick. Sorry, I think my kids got their hands on this, so this looks a little messed up. But you know what? That's life with kids. So this is what they look like on the inside. They're just lined. These are, oh my gosh, my kids totally got into this. So I think that this spacing is going to be closer to the old spacing of notebooks. So this is a little bigger. So if you're somebody who likes lined paper and you feel like you're writing on top of each other, or your lines are like right on top of each other, this might be something that you enjoy. So it's just, this is like a really pretty, it's more of a tan than this is, and it just like has dots. It's really pretty. It has their symbol down on the bottom. So there's that one, and then this one is the same. It just is a different cover. It's really pretty, and then it says "Find Joy in the Journey," which I absolutely love. Go ahead and open it real quick just to show you guys, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. I ordered two because can you ever have enough notebooks? I just love this cover design. This was one of her options for this year, I think, and so she went with a journal. I absolutely love it. Yeah, so same thing. It's really pretty. Yeah, this is more of like a gray kind of tone. But I mean, sorry, not the cover, but I meant like inside here. This is more like a green gray. I don't really know how to describe that. I should have probably asked like what this color is, but yeah. So these are your options for covers here. They're very pretty. These are options for notebooks. These can easily just kind of tag along with you. You can probably go in here and, you know, it doesn't take up too much room if you're on the go. So that's what I kind of like about that. I'll be using this for probably just some journaling to go along with my Bible study right now. That's the one thing I'm kind of missing with my new Bible study that I'm doing. So I don't know exactly how I'll be using these, but I love them. I love this. Find joy in the journey. So yeah, that's my review of this. I'm sorry it ended up being 20 minutes, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you're not already following along on my Instagram, you'll want to do that. I'm definitely going to be playing around in the vertical. I haven't decided where I'm going to land yet as far as which planner I'm using. I might kind of bounce around between the two, but I am not a 2-planner girl, so I will figure it out soon because I will not be bouncing back and forth once the new year comes. So I might be playing around with it ahead of time, but I might make some content as far as, you know, how to use your vertical. So you might see me posting stuff like that. So that's why I want to follow along on Instagram. I can show different ways to use the vertical if I end up in the classic or vice versa. So if you guys have any questions, like I said, leave them below. If not, I will see you guys in the next one.